Ben Chedgy, men's soccer, class of 2010. Former head men's soccer coach Pat Paris stated, "For me, Ben Chedgy is the greatest center-back player to come through North Georgia. Ben is the player every coach wants on their team because he was that leader that would tell it like it is, good or bad. He was a respected leader for our program." Ben Chedgy is one of the most decorated men's soccer players to wear the North Georgia uniform and currently holds the record for games played with 72 games from 2006 to 2010 for the then Saints. In his career at center back, he scored 5 goals, 4 of which came during his senior campaign, and recorded 2 assists. In his career, he was a 2-time preseason All-Conference selection and a 3-time Peach Belt Conference First Team All-Conference and First Team All-Region honoree. As a freshman, he was voted to serve as a team captain, a role he would retain throughout his playing career, which his teammates say is a testament to his consistency and commitment to the team. Known as the Rock at the Back, Chedgy also found success in the classroom, being named a Peach Belt Bronze or Silver Scholar all 4 years of his collegiate career, as well as being named to the honor roll twice. Coach Paris noted, "I remember telling him one day that he would be inducted to the North Georgia Hall of Fame, and that day has arrived." Congratulations, sir. It is a phenomenal honor to be inducted into this Hall of Fame, and I know that it is something that for you probably has been an opportunity to relive some of the time that you spent here in Dahlonega. I'm always curious about first impressions of a location, a school, a program. What was it like for you when you first became part of the program here at North Georgia?
Okay, so obviously my first experience coming over from a different country was interesting. Stepping into the South was unique. Obviously, Southern hospitality was something that I wasn't necessarily used to. I think the first time somebody pulled over and offered me a ride in the back of their truck, I wasn't quite sure how to take that. But as a school, obviously, it just made the transition from NAIA to Division II. So I thought that when we first stepped on campus, it was good. When we traveled to some of the other universities that were more established, I could see that we were a little bit behind at the time. But obviously now when you step back on campus, you can see how we've surpassed what essentially our conference rivals are. So I'm very, very happy to see where the university is now.
You look at your career and still holding the record for games played with 72, and obviously you wouldn't have been at full strength for all 72 of those games. What was it like to keep yourself out on the pitch even when you were a little dinged up?
Well, it wasn't really an option to take any time off, ultimately. I've always been quite a driven person when it came to playing sport anyway, and I was just appreciative of the opportunity, to be perfectly honest. So I just, I didn't want to miss. I didn't want to miss anything. So it's as simple as just not wanting to miss a minute.
All right. Talk about the chemistry between you and your teammates during the time that you were here at North Georgia. Obviously, that's something that's very special to most athletes. Talk about that, if you would.
Okay, so my experience to begin with was I actually had to redshirt as an incoming freshman because for academic reasons. So when I first came to the university, that first season was a bit of a disaster, to be perfectly honest. The coach was let go, the team lost a lot of games, and a lot of those players didn't return. So when we came back in the spring, it was essentially a case of let's see who sticks it out and who doesn't. I'm sorry, I completely gone off track.
Just talking about the relationships.
The relationships.
The relationships, and quite honestly, I'd like to add to that the fact that as a freshman, voted team captain.
Right.
That is unbelievable. Talk about the honor of that, and then the pressure I'm sure that you felt.
Absolutely.
With that.
Okay, so as I said, the experience, I think that first semester was difficult. I think 7 of us returned after Christmas, so it was obviously a very, very shortened roster. And it was one of those things that the guys that returned were fully bought in, and we kind of knew what we were fighting for. I also did very poorly academically that first semester. So it was something where my second semester here I had to almost recover and rescue to be given the opportunity to stay. So I think that as a group, we kind of bought in and we kind of knew what we were fighting for, essentially. So, and I think we maintained that for the first sort of 2 or 3 years of the new coach, and kind of how we built the program was we were always going to be the ones who dug in, and we were kind of the underdogs. So
and made a difference in that transition. Obviously, your honors as 2-time preseason all-conference and 3-time Peach Belt, but your success in the classroom, though, really took off, winning Peach Belt bronze or silver scholar all 4 years of the career. And one thing that I wanted to touch on, too, was how you have sort of paid it forward once you left your college career, getting into coaching. Talk about that.
Well, it was something, obviously, I enjoyed the playing part, and it became so much of almost like a full-time experience here with the university. And then after I got done playing, I couldn't imagine not still being involved with the game. So I was lucky enough to carry on as a grad assistant and as a volunteer assistant, and then eventually as a full-time assistant. And to be honest, I never really saw myself doing anything different.
Have you enjoyed the explosion of soccer here in the U.S. Far beyond what it would have been during your time here at North Georgia?
Oh, of course, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously, with Atlanta United becoming what it is, it's only helping grow. The quality of the MLS has been fantastic, and that's bleeding through all through youth soccer and then into college as well. College soccer now is so much higher than I think it was when we were sort of playing. So every year it gets better and better. So.
And that league continues to amaze. They brought some guy named Messi in to play down in Miami.
Yeah, I'll be there on Saturday. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So, closing thoughts in our visit, Ben. When you look back on your time here at North Georgia, is there a singular memory or moment that stands out above all the others of your time here?
So I can remember my freshman year. We had a difficult start to the season. We were a very, very young team. I think we lost the first 3 out of the 4 games. And we had Lander, who obviously still in the conference. They were coming to town, and they were 6th or 7th in the country, something like that. And it was one of those games where, we kind of knew we're definitely second favorite here. But it was also one of those games where the Cora cadets were given the green light to kind of come out and support on the sidelines. So the whole sideline was packed with all these like big guys with no shirts on, all painted, and they were just going nuts. They didn't know what they were going nuts for, but they were just super excited to be doing something outside of whatever they normally do. And every time the ball went out of play, and a Lander player had to go out into the crowd between these guys, like they were barking at them, they were going insane. And it was just an incredible atmosphere, something I'd never experienced, and we ended up winning the game 2-0. We ended up winning the game 2-0, which was, I think, our second win of the season and first one against a ranked opponent.
I love fantastic. It. That is, without question, a memory to save. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee, Ben Chedgy.